And until you follow that, you will not have permanent peace in this life at all. Now, most people will form that innate heart's desire between the ages of 3 and 12. Now, that is formed from environment, from the natural impulses which you have brought over with you in that environment, from perhaps what somebody has said to you. For instance, if you live on a farm, you will have inherent within you the desire for the peace and quiet of a farm. And then later, if you take up an active obligation where you have no time to realize that peace and quiet, your life will not be a success, because your inherent, innate, heart's desire is for that peace and quiet. You'll find that underlying all your superficial activity. Also, this natural, permanent desire within us is formed from spiritual experiences during those early formative years. I remember in my own case, perhaps you have read about the instant when I heard the voice in my father's home. It was between those ages. I heard that voice, which was much different than worldly voice. And there is no question of a doubt but that impressed me at that time and set in motion that desire within me, that heart's desire, which had to be fulfilled. And until I fulfilled that, there was not that complete peace and happiness within. I'll come to that just a little later. And so we must follow that innate heart's desire, that permanent desire running underneath all superficial desires, if we really want to find our place in life in the right way and have permanent happiness. That is very important, to follow your natural bent. And that natural bent is that underlying desire that has been waiting for us, coaxing us to follow it, that we may have permanent peace. Now, this lasting peace will come only, as I have said, when we follow this definite, permanent desire within. No matter how wonderful your vocation is, no matter how lucrative it is, unless it is the right path that you should follow, it will not give you permanent and lasting peace. Because you are not following that innate heart's desire. I know the Master gave an illustration of this, which I think will clear it up. We can take the case of a traveling salesman. Now, he travels all around, hustling here and there, trying to make a success, and yet he does not succeed. Why? Because when he was young, he lived on a farm. And there was implanted in his soul that heart's desire to have that piece of the farm, to have a little place where he could have a garden, for instance, or where he could sit down and enjoy the peace of nature, perhaps paint a little. But you see, in his traveling salesman's job, he could not have that, and so he could not make a success. And so it is absolutely imperative that we follow our natural bent and satisfy that underlying innate heart's desire which is there. Now, going on just a little bit, pardon illustration of my own case. I had a busy practice. Everything was fine. I had enough money to live on. I enjoyed very much serving the patients, doing the best I could. But I found underneath that was that innate desire to be more on a spiritual path. And so later, when I was able to give more time to spiritual things, I found a complete harmony and peace in helping others, perhaps in a far greater way than in a profession, by giving them a taste of the peace of God and encouraging them, inspiring them on their path back home to Him. And so you will feel within yourself, just analyze underneath, you'll feel something that must be satisfied if you are to have permanent peace. Most people are automatons. Millions of children are come into the life, started off in life, not knowing what it's all about, not knowing any path whatsoever. Aimless journeys in life is the lot of most people. They do not even know what path to follow, let alone that. But they have no idea whatsoever of harmonizing with the great cosmic plan, and that's very important. There are two parts to this life. One is our own path which we must follow to satisfy that inherent desire, and the other is that we absolutely must conform to the divine plan of God. These things are essential. And these people, most people, not only do not have the understanding to follow a natural path, but they do not even think of conforming to the great plan of God. That is very important, as I will point out. So our part we must play. It must be played, and it must be played right. And this is important. No matter how small your part, no matter how small it is, if it does not fit into the great plan of God, the great cosmic plan in this drama, the whole cosmic plan is interfered with. You can see that easily. Now remember, this is God's dream. This is His dream. So we not only have our own part to play, follow our own